What would you do? Stay tuned for the rest of the story. What's up, YouTube family? Gerald Greenlee here with Clean and Green Lawn Service in beautiful South Georgia. Looks like it's going to be another beautiful day out today. It is 52 degrees at 7:22 in the morning down here at the shop. Got everything warming up because 52 is still way too cold for me. Trying to look here and see what my watch says it is. My watch says 49, but the thermometers on the truck should be more accurate from my location. Got a message last night from one of my lawn customers. Hey, y'all put fence up. I said, well, depends on what kind you want. Wood fence. Sent him a picture of the one we just did. He said, that's exactly what I want. About 200 feet of it with a vehicle access gate and a man gate. And so I told him about what it'd be a foot, and I guess he's interested. I hope he read everything I put in there, because I put a post and said, hey, because he said he said it's about 200 feet. I said, okay, well, you're gonna be looking at about this much, and at a starting price at least. And because I charge so much per foot install, material and labor, and then your gates I figure up different. I mean, I got a price per foot on them just to get a general estimate, but because on a gate I would buy the steel framing hardware, a hardware kit that's got the steel braces and all that, because if you don't put that on it, it's probably gonna sag over time, and probably after not too much time. So anyway, I prefer to use a steel gate assembly and attach the pickets to it. So anyway, he asked when I could come by and look at it, and that yard is, if he's wanting to put it where I think he is, relatively flat, not too bad. Might have some issues with some roots. He's got some decent sized pines across the back of the property, but I'm not even sure where the property line is. I know where we cut to, but anyway, if he's around, I'm gonna try to go look at that this afternoon. So that'll be another project. I got the chain link fencing project I went and looked at yesterday. I got to quote it, and I still got to quote the church. I haven't sent them anything yet. I should have did that last night. I'm gonna try to get all that stuff done tonight. We ran into a little bit of chaos yesterday evening with the goats. One of them had a little goat and went and take care of it. So I had to go to run to town and get some colostrum for it to drink, and it's really not drinking that well, so I don't know if it's gonna make it or not. But anyway, that's just all part of it. So I probably spent a couple hours messing around with that, so I never got around to the other stuff that I needed to do. All right, that's where we stopped at yesterday, and so we got this little section's all we got left. Yeah, I know it's kind of crazy to come back to do this a little bit, but we had planned to have to make another trip anyway. So we actually got more done than we thought we would with what we had. So we're gonna get this on. This probably ain't but probably a 30-minute little deal. And well, after you get the tools out and all anyway. That's the other thing. But we're gonna get this put down, and then we're gonna head on to the next one. All right, there we go. It's done. Took quite a bit of mulch too. So anyway, headed to the next one. Get it done, man. Get it done. It'd be nice to send that invoice out. This here's a pretty big ticket item. Come on, Z, that guy's waiting. All right, we didn't get y'all no footage, but we got this entire yard done. Everything trimmed up. Bed done. Bed's all the way around the house done. This bed, we planted those plants that she wanted in there. The bed on the other side. We may be able to blow it, I don't know. Well, I guess we get up what we can and blow it. I don't even know if I got a flat shovel. Let me get up here and see what I got so I can help Z-Man out. I'm trying to clean up here. We don't have any place to blow it off at like we normally would, so see what I can find here. Z-Man, you tired?
Yeah.
Hot?
Yeah.
Hungry?
Yeah.
And need some money?
Yeah.
Oh, y'all can count on Z-Man. He always needs something. Oh, man, we done early. We ain't done, but we done with the job anyway. And to get back to the house and to get Z-Man home. And I gotta go look at another job. Gotta keep some work for Z-Man to do. Big baller. What would you do? Stay tuned for the rest of the story. All right, so I already told y'all that I thought the guy was putting too much mulch on. And kind of what I was doing was waiting until I got to the end to see, okay, how much total mulch did I use versus what I normally use. Now I realize we put it down thinner this time than we normally do because we you know, this is our third year, I think, third or fourth. I think we did 21, 22, 23. Maybe this is our fourth year. And we've been putting it down real good and thick. And we've just got a thick buildup of it. And we went a little thinner last year, and I told the guys this year, hey, let's just get down and try to get about 2 inches on it. So I knew we put down less, but I really felt like the guy was giving us more mulch because last year Elro was driving the truck and he was getting like 8 or 9 scoops. And we've been getting 6. Now we could have got 7 easily, but we had our wheelbarrows and all that on the truck. Whereas last year, all that stuff stayed at the place we were working at. So anyway, when I went in to pay the guy today for everything, I asked him, I said, well, you know, how is the mulch, you know, how is it supposed to be in the scoop? Is it supposed to be a heaping scoop? Or he said, well, just round it off a little. I said, well, I think the guys gave me too much based on what I used in the past, how much we putting on the trailer. He said, don't worry about it. I said, well, look, I don't want y'all to come up short. And he said, well, he said, we've been getting it 80 yards at a time. The last load we got, when we were done, we had sold 79 yards. That's close enough for us. And the same guy, I guess, has been loading it. And I said, okay. So now I'm wondering if, you know, maybe they weren't giving me enough last year. Who knows? I mean, so here's the deal. I still, you know, I done gave the customer the price. They're getting charged what they're getting charged regardless. For a couple of reasons. One, the price is the price. 2 is, I put that much down before. 3 is, if I go back this year and cut 10 yards off of the total, and then next year I jack it back up, they go, well, wait a minute. You know, because a different guy's loading now. So, and I just give them a set price anyway. They don't even care what the yards are. This is how much it costs to mulch. They don't even know how many yards it is. So I went and changed that. So anyway, I paid a bill, and I get back out to the truck, and I figure up what I just paid for, and I go, there ain't no way that's right. So I knew I paid for some the other day. I paid for the mulch we did last weekend already. And then I was like, there's a whole load missing. We got a whole load that he didn't charge us for. So I go back in the store. I said, hey man, look at your paper again. Something ain't right. He said, I got it right here. It's 2 loads and then you got the partial load. And I was like, So then I call Z-Man because I'm thinking, have I lost my mind? I said, Z-Man, didn't we get a load yesterday morning? Yes, sir. We came back and got one yesterday evening? Yes, sir. We got a load this morning? Yes, sir. Then we came back and got 1 yard, one scoop? Yes, sir. I said, okay. So the guy behind the counter, he said, okay, well, we forgot to write one down. So I paid him for another load. Now, what would you do in that situation? I know what most people do. You do the right thing. The right thing was to go back in there and pay them. Now, you could say, well, you know, they didn't catch it, so, you know, that was what they were calling 6 yards of mulch, and that was $187.92 that they would have been short. Now, I'm not going to drive off and not pay somebody with a good conscience. I don't think that's the way you do things. And the guy told me, he said, man, I appreciate you coming and telling us. I said, look, bud, I said, I want to make money, and I want y'all to make money. But you can't make money if you're giving me a free load, you know. So, you know, anyway, that's the way I see it. And I think most of the people I interact with on my channel, and just most people in general, I think, would go back and pay for it. You know, because now, if I hadn't been keeping up with this, like when Elro was going to get the stuff, I didn't really keep up with it. Elro kept up with it, and they kept up with it in the store, and I just had a credit card on file, and they just charged the card. You know, I didn't really, you know what I was getting charged for, I guess. But if I didn't know when that happened, well, that would be one thing. But to know it, so now let me give you a little perspective for that, a little truth. When you know to do right and you don't do it, that's wrong. So, the sin of omission. So anyway, there's your Bible lesson for today. So I'm headed over here now to look at this fence. I run by Ace. I'm already like, this guy's gonna give me the job, man. I got me about, I don't know, I think it's 30 or 50 or something flags in here. I got some, but you're supposed to mark for the utility folks to come out. You're supposed to mark with white flags or white paint. And I got some orange flags that I tie white ribbon on, but I saw those in the store the other day, and I said, I'm gonna run in there and grab them while I'm in town. So anyway, we're gonna go out here and look at this thing, see what this guy says, see what he's wanting to get done. Now, see, what he don't know is now it's gonna cost him more to get his yard cut. You know, now you fencing in an area. Now it's gonna have a gate big enough for me to go through, but you know, that's more weed eating and all that kind of stuff, unless they're gonna keep it sprayed or something. So we'll deal with that when we get there. We got to get the fence job before we worry about all that, though. So here we go. All right, that's actually the first time I've ever met that lawn customer. You know, I've been cutting his yard for I guess a year. I think we've only done it one season, but I've never met him before. But he works at a mill, but you know, he's probably 75 miles from here, 80 miles, something like that, I don't know. So he's probably usually sleeping or something when we come over, or he's at work, so they work 12s. But anyway, nice guy, and I gave him a price. We'll see what he says. You know, I told him what we would do, and he said he want to check with his wife, and he said, I'm good with it, let me talk to her. I don't know. You know, sometimes people do that, so that's a nice way of saying no without saying no. All right, YouTube posse, that's a wrap on today. Just been sitting around this afternoon sending out some invoices, some estimates, and taking care of some youth ministry stuff and some other church stuff. So yeah, man, staying busy. So anyway, got the dogs outside. There's 3. Oh, there's the other one. So they all hanging out. Hey, y'all ever wonder why when people put their things on Marketplace, they do that? I don't know, man. Like, you drive down the road all the time, man. I mean, anybody can get a picture of that. I don't know. I just stand behind my truck and thought of it. If y'all want to steal my tag, go ahead. I don't care. Make sure that it's paid up, though, next year. So, hey, appreciate y'all watching today. And my prayer for you is always the same, that the Lord might richly bless you and that you might see all of your blessings as from him. Hope you have a great day.